Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shakes and Fidget free to play playthrough. As you can see, we are in game, and I would like to show you the progress made so far. And mostly, I would like to use this opportunity to give you one huge tip when it comes to one of the events happening in game in order to get the maximum benefit from this event. So, if you like this type of content, if you like my videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video. Also, if you have any kind of suggestions, please leave the comment below. Please also direct your attention to the description of the video because I leave the links to SF Tools, which is a great tool to help you with this game. In the future, I will also showcase how this tool works. At the moment, it does not bring me a huge benefit, so I'm not using it. However, in the future, it is really an essential tool which you can use in your gameplay. And then I also leave the link to a PDF document which explains you a certain parts of the game and how to get to high levels within 2 or 3 days using shrooms. Um, to the episode now. First things first, I want to check or to update you on the progress. As you can see, we are level 36. We did not progress that much in comparison to the previous episode. It's going a bit slow. Main reason is because I'm using only 100 thirst. This is one reason, and second, I'm also not using shrooms to push the dungeons too much. I will show at what stage on the dungeons we are. When it comes to the attributes, you can see them here, and also the gear. I have stockpiled a bit of gems here, keeping them for item upgrades. Um, and we also, just few minutes ago, I got this epic. I will replace it because it gives me boost on the three main stats. I do lose 29 strength and intelligence, which can prove useful against other players. I might keep actually both rings, and then depending on what exactly I'm doing, I might switch between the two at the moment. But in general, it is an increase. I kept some of the gems, as I said here, when I received an upgrade. The luck one is not that necessary because I have the other ones more than enough. And one more thing, which is important to mention, is I'm at 41% of the scrapbook. I have been utilizing the ad skipping to get to the 41%. Luckily, because there is also a huge pressure from the guild to keep the scrapbook bonus on a high level. I also have some achievements done. Mainly this raid the fortress 100 times. So this is one which I have finished, and I think there might be one more or maybe not. Yeah, that's actually only one. So I have only done, in addition to the others which have already been there, this one. So that's when it comes to the character itself. One more thing is the upgrades. They are still at the 7.9. I did not spend any more gold shrooms on this. The main reason is, I mentioned this in the previous episode, is that I need to take care that I have a mount. Um, there are two options. I can either go with a 30% mount, which means one shroom, or I can continue 50% mount. For 50% mount, I need 25 shrooms. Bear this in your mind. I still have 8 days because the ninth day has already started, and I already did my thirst today, as you can see here. So I have 8 days left. This means 8 guaranteed shrooms. On top of the 19 I have, this is 27, which means I only have 2 shrooms more than what the price is. As you can see here, 25, which means I am not able to afford this at this point in time. Now, there are two options which I could do. I could go with a 30% mount, and then I could, this would be one shroom. I would have 18 left, or out of the 27 I mentioned a few seconds ago, 26 I would have left, which means I can upgrade this one to 8, and this one to 9. So I would still need some shrooms for the upgrade 10 for the treasury. Um, I am not sure yet what I will do. The guild is currently asking for a 6 6 or 7 7 upgrades. I'm still fine, but they will probably push to 10 10 in the upcoming period. So I need to take this into consideration, or they would probably kick me out. Especially since I am above the average level. You can see the average level is 51 and I'm 36, so I am also endangered in a sense that they might kick me out. I can find another guild, of course. It's just that this guild is quite good. I would like to stay in it. So that's when it comes to the upgrade. Just shortly, the dungeons. Disregard this. This is probably being pulled from one of my other characters. So this one here, if I click, it says that monster name. So this is just a bug. I don't have tower unlocked, of course, and it says that I have 69% bonus. I think this is EU2 that I have 69% bonus. In any case, so I have finished dungeon 1. I will get back to it quickly. I am currently level 8 on the dungeon 2, and dungeon 3 I'm level 5. I will try pushing this one. It says 54, and I might get an epic if I win. Just quickly. Okay, I lost. Not that important because this is way above my level, so I'm just trying because it would be nice boost in the experience, and I also get an epic item. When it comes to dungeon 1, I wanted just to briefly update you. So the maximum level of dungeon 1, the boss of the dungeon 1 is level 50. And I won, and I got an epic item. For every dungeon, the last boss is guaranteed to give you an epic item. And I think also level 5, I can see it here. Here I don't remember, and I cannot scroll right to see. This is 876, so I don't see the 5. But in general, I think the level 5 and level 10 always give you a guaranteed epic item, whilst other, well, they can give you an epic item, but there is a percentage chance to get it. It's so it's a RNG. However, one thing to note is that the level of the epic item, or the upgrade, the stats of the epic item are appropriate to the minimum level of you or the mob that drops it. Which means if I am winning here in a fight against a dungeon monster and I am 10 levels above him and he gives an epic item, I would give an epic item appropriate to the level of the monster, which is 10 levels lower than me. If, on the other hand, I am lower than the dungeon monster, for example, this one here, I am 36 and he's 54. If I would win, the epic which I would receive is appropriate to level 36. So it will always be the minimum of the two, let's say, participants of the fight, myself and the monster. Um, this works same also for the bosses. So the level of the boss in the dungeon 1 is 50. I received an item which is appropriate to level 36 because it's the minimum of the two. Now, one might ask, why don't you then wait until you are level 50 or above and then beat the dungeon boss and get a level 50 item? And this is actually a valid strategy. I have been using this in the past, but then after discussing with some players, they said there is no reason to do that. Um, Receiving an epic item on a level as low as 36 or 50 is almost irrelevant because you are leveling so fast that you would replace it in a couple of levels or in one day of game time, which then sort of raises a question: why wait? Because if you win a dungeon, you are getting an experience and you are going to level even faster. And the fact that you are receiving an epic which is lower level, well, it's not that problematic because you will get an epic 2 days later or a day later. This is one reason, and the second reason is that the dungeons sort of there is a lot of dungeons, and after level 100, you are pushing the dungeons so fast that you are receiving epics almost all the time, Not to mention when you open Tower, when you open Shadow World, all of these dungeons can give you epics. And even though there are specific things for Shadow World and the Tower, which type of epics they give you, they can still be applicable to you. And in this context, there is abundance of epics, and there is no reason for you to wait. So from this point of view, my advice to you would be rush the dungeon so that you level. You will anyway get so many epics. I had a problem on two of the servers I'm playing on that I had a full backpack of epics, and I did not know what to do with them. Usually, I would scrap them in the at the blacksmith once there is a blacksmith event, because you can scrap 15 items, and this is way how I would do it. But in general, no reason to wait. So my advice, once more, is just rush the dungeons, get the experience. Neglect the fact that you are receiving an epic which could be better if you waited. Now, the main reason why I'm making this episode in between of the two, let's say, bigger episodes, because the next episode will be probably after the events, so for the weekend, um, is because I want to prepare you for the events which are coming. So today we received this email that Glorious Gold and Awesome Animals is are the events which will happen. So there are actually four events, but they usually just mention two in the email subject. But what it says is that there are four exciting events. This is Glorious Gold Galore. There is Witch's Dance. There is Days of Doom Souls and Assembly of Awesome Animals. Unfortunately for us, these three are not applicable for us for a free to play because we are level 36. Just to give you a brief explanation, Witcher's Dance, which is level 60, I would say 70. I might be wrong, but it is for sure higher than 50. It gives you possibility to trash items at Witch, and she gives enchants if you trash enough items. And I will explain this, of course, when we unlock it. But the problem is that since we are not even close there, this is not relevant for us. Days of Doom Souls is an underworld event. Underworld, as mentioned in the previous episode, is like 130, 140, depending how high level you achieve by doing the requirements needed for the underworld. So it's just we're not even close again. And then there is the assembly of awesome animals. Level 75, you unlock pets. So this is connected to the pets again. No way we will be level 75 by weekend. So this is also not relevant for us. The only one which is relevant for us is the Glorious Gold Galore, and here I have a huge tip for you. So first things first, Glorious Gold Galore is an event which gives you 5 times more gold for your activities in game. So you would get 5 times more gold here at Dr. Abavuvu. You would get 5 times more gold in the quests. You would get 5 times more gold in dungeon fights if they give gold, and most of them I think they do. And you would get 5 times, and this is most important, 5 times more gold doing the city guard duty. My tip here for you, and I cannot emphasize this more than this, is to use the city guard to its fullest. And what I mean by that, the city guard works in such way that the gold defined or gold earned by doing the city guard is defined by your level and potentially the event at the time of finishing the city guard. This would mean that if I'm level 30 and I start a city guard, and by some miracle, I really emphasize miracle, I'm 100 by it expires, so by 4 in the morning. Once it finishes, I will not get 439. I would get whatever the level I am at the time of the finishing of this city guard. So what you can do, and this is important for the City Gold Galore, is that all of the events start at midnight or 1 minute past midnight between Thursday and Friday. So if you put your city guard to finish at 001 or 0001, which means 1 minute past midnight, you would get boosted gold. And I cannot emphasize this more. This is the best way to earn the biggest or the most amount of gold in the Glorious Gold Galore. So, my advice on Thursday, do your quests, do whatever you need to do by 10 hours less, so around 2 p.m. during that day. At 2 p.m. and 5 minutes. You don't have to be exactly 1 minute. The most important thing is that you don't stray too much from the midnight. So at 14:05 on Thursday, you put a 10-hour city guard, and at midnight, 5 minutes past midnight, you open the game and you would receive a boosted. So let's assume this case scenario, I would instead of 439 receive 2000 gold. And as soon as you do that, you can just put the city guard again. It's not a problem. The most important thing is that you catch this boosted gold by the first minute, for first 5 minutes past the midnight. Then you do the boost, then you do the full 10 hour in the morning around 10. You do the quest quickly, you do the dungeon fights, you do everything, you put 10 hours again. You do this the whole weekend. And then on Sunday, again, the events finish at 23:59 on Sunday. At midnight, it resets. So you would do the last set of City Guard, 10 hour, or in a worst case scenario, a bit less, so that it finishes somewhere around 11:30, 11:45 in the evening. I mean, if you can make 23:59, that's perfect. But the most important thing is that you finish just before midnight. You enter the game, you take the gold, and then from that point on, the event is anyway finished and it's not relevant for you anymore. So just once more to recap, Thursday around uh, 14 o'clock, like 2 o'clock, 2 p.m., whatever the let's say the time format you use in your country, you put a 10-hour work. So at 14:05, you put 10 hours, so it finishes midnight and 5 minutes. At midnight, 5 minutes, unfortunately, you have to be awake. Do not go to bed at 11. So at 12:05, you go into game. You pick up the first boosted gold city guard. You just do 10 hours every day again until Sunday. On Sunday, you do until 23:55, for example, and you pick up the last boost. This could be, for example, even let's say 5 hours. Let's say that I did 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, and currently it's 18:10, which means it's 6:10 p.m. I can only do 5 hours. Do the 5 hours. The reason for it is if you do 5 hours of boosted, you will get 1000 gold. If you do like this, you get 400. So rather do anything until 11 something to get the boosted gold because the 5 time boost is great. So this is the most important tip for the Glorious Gold Galore, which I can give you. Of course, you can do other stuff. You can spin the wheel and chase, let's say, the boosted gold, or you can also do the more quests, do more thirst, drink beers. If you're not free to play, or if you're a free to play player, never use shrooms for gold event. Uh, I mean, for the thirst for the gold event, rather use it for XP event. Um, More or less, that's it. I hope that I gave you great tips and that you can utilize them. That you will see this before the weekend, so that you can do the boost. If you do not see it by the weekend, take this into consideration whenever the next time there is Glorious Gold Galore, because you will increase your earnings by a huge amount. All in all, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for being here with me, and see ya.